right. So today, KO, Brian Winters, Jeff Smith, all three of those guys you guys will see them outside. They're going to start kind of they're working with the strength guys. They'll be doing some running and things like that, but they won't be in practice yet. And then outside, a couple guys just, cramping up yesterday. We got out pretty clean. That's all I got.
You picked up a couple of veterans yesterday. Can you talk about Anthony in particular, because you know him?
Yeah, I mean, Steph's one of those guys. Being with him, he fits into our locker room well. He knows a little bit of our defense. It's different than what he's been in, but at the same time, there's some similarities to what he did when he was younger. And last year, him and Frank being together, will help that translation, and make things go quicker for him learning wise. I just think it's a good job by the personnel department. Just keep searching for guys that can kind of fit in with our culture, and then at the same time create some competition and depth.
So you anticipate that he would play more defense than he predominantly played special teams for you guys a year ago?
Yeah, I mean, I think he was in one of those spots where we had some packages for him. At the same time, our guys stayed healthy. The guy played every game. So we'll see. We'll kind of see how it all shakes out, and see how everything goes. I mean, I know it's a short period of time before we actually kind of cut down the roster. So I mean, he's got a couple weeks here to pick up things as fast as possible and kind of see if he fits in.
You talk about your culture a lot. How would you describe your football culture?
I think where our locker room is right now, where guys are really working hard and trying to focus on creating the best team we can possibly be. The unselfishness here is outstanding. Guys they work. It's not about them, it's about the team. And I've been very impressed with how our players have gone about their business.
How do you create that? I mean, is that an organic thing, or?
No, I think a lot. It has a lot to do with players. You can talk about it all you want, but at the end of the day, it's really a choice players make. I think, the guys that we have, on defense especially, I think those guys are team first guys. I think it helps when your best players are like that.
How do you like, or what do you make, I should say, of just the overt accountability that Greg brings on the defense in terms of, calling out guys in the meeting rooms and things aren't done properly?
I think it's great. I mean, the fact that, sensitivity's out the window. He's not afraid to say anything to anyone. And I think guys, they're hardened to it, and it's a good thing. I mean, we all get criticized in this business. We all get picked apart, and you got to have thick skin. And, by doing that, at least it's holding guys accountable. It's there's no sacred cows.
How do you approach it on your side?
We're the same way. We just do it just a little different.
When CJ first got here, you mentioned him being a culture changer. Can you talk about that and what he's been able to do and what that means?
Yeah, I think if you're not in that locker room, you see him and you don't really see somebody that's saying a lot and is kind of quiet, but I've kind of seen a few things where I see what I had heard, from Baltimore. And he's an action guy. Everything he does, there's a reason why he's been as good as he's been. There's a reason why he's a leader. He just has that natural leadership ability. He knows the right time to say things. He knows when to pull guys together and say something. I know there's been a couple times in practice where he's made the comment to me, hey, you guys are done moving the ball. Like, we're gonna straighten this thing up right now. Like, this is not acceptable for us. And then it changes. So, I mean, he has great timing when it's time to speak up.
Adam, coming out of college, one of the biggest knocks on Stamp was his footwork and maybe overwillingness to throw off platform. What have you seen from both of those? Would you say that those weaknesses are actually strengths?
In this league, absolutely. I think because it's hard to just everything to be clean all the time. I do think when you do have a clean pocket, though, you want alignment. You want everything going in the right direction. You don't want to make the unnecessary, poor fundamental throw just to do it. You know, that's why a lot of times we'll make those corrections, especially when he's got a clean pocket, and make sure that we're trying to do everything right. You know, sometimes you just have to let him like do his thing a little bit. You know, I mean, when he's got a mess inside and he's got a slide and he's kind of not really lined up right and he makes a great throw, I mean, that's what it is. I mean, it's him making a play.
Sorry if you've been asked this before, but his ability to kind of make those kinds of throws when things are breaking down. Have you seen anything like that before? I mean, you work with the pocket passer and Peyton and other guys, but
I think it was just done in a different way. I think Peyton was outstanding in a phone booth. You know, the world could be collapsing on him, and he just could hang in there and find ways to get throws and tight windows. I think there was some times where, in 15, I saw Jay make some unbelievable movements in the pocket, off balance, throws down the field. But as far as his ability to do it consistently, the accuracy, guys don't break stride. Like, he could be completely off balance, and somehow he puts the ball out in front of the receiver when he's moving, and the guy catches it and can still run.
How much curiosity have you had seeing Le'Veon in a regular season game? You've obviously seen him on another team. You've seen him for the last 3 weeks, day in, day out, but not for your team and your offense in a real game. So what's your level of curiosity?
I'm trying to go through these next 2 weeks and really focus on this week right now. I'm excited that when we get the opportunity and it's go time for him, I can't wait to see what he does on a Sunday. Watching him in practice, that's fun enough. I mean, you can tell the guy's a special player, and to see him on Sunday, that's going to be fun.
How has it been different to prepare Le'Veon for a season, given he hasn't played for?
I mean, you just can't tell. To me, you can't tell that he hasn't played in a year. The way he practices, the amount of reps that he took, last week and then this week, how he's been, not only practicing, trying to do extra conditioning, but you can see he's really gearing up for what's going to happen here in a couple weeks.
Do you think that the lack of preseason reps? I
think for him, he's played so much football as it is, and he's had a lot of touches over his career. And he understands. I mean, we had this conversation before we started training camp about how important it was for him to get reps in practice and how important it was for him to it's got to be full speed all the time. The quarterback needs to understand, like, your tempo on your routes and working on things during special teams periods. He's been great as far as just listening to how we're telling him he needs to go about practice, which has given us confidence to know, like, this is the right thing for us to do with him.
You about a week or so ago, we had a real physical practice. He got popped. If you talk about Le'Veon, he got popped a few times. And I think that probably was a bit by design to get him a little bit acclimated. Do you anticipate today or tomorrow or whatever, having one of those like that again where you're, I don't know.
I think yesterday it kind of happened a little bit too.
Yeah.
And
is there a conscious decision to do that, or is it just kind of the way
by him? It's because it's his body demeanor, the way that he's attacking the defense.
Yeah.
Like, those guys know the difference between how a guy's gonna either we're thudding up and they're wrapping up, and then when they see him kind of start getting lower and accelerating towards them, they know, like, okay, he's looking to do some damage here.
So it's a little more by his design then.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I see it. I've never talked to him about this. I've heard him kind of come back after, like, a short yardage period and be like, oh, that felt good. That's what I wanted to do.
And just as a follow on that, he's been speaking to us all along, basically, and said, he's going to do whatever you feel is best you wanted to do. When you had the conversation that he would not play the third preseason game, was there any lobbying at all, or was he like, okay, let's do it. Let's do what we're going to do?
No, anytime we've had conversations, when I told him, I was like, this is why I think this is the direction we should go, he goes, okay, I agree with you. Mm-hmm. He's been great about it. I think we just try to explain why we're thinking what we're thinking, and he's been good with how we've gone about that.
And what are your expectations of Jordan Jenkins? He had some success against you guys actually down in Miami.
Yeah.
But bad memory. But realistically, what do you expect that he can offer from this defense?
What I really like about him is he plays every down. Run, pass, the way he thinks through the game, his physicality. He goes into, especially beginning game, he tries to make a statement. When he goes against those tackles, he tries to be violent, he tries to be aggressive, he tries to make sure that guy knows it's going to be a long afternoon. And I think the fact that he does a great job setting the edge, he does his job consistently, and, you know, as a pass rusher, he keeps getting better. He works at it. And I think, you know, the way that Greg's using him right now, it's one of those things where we'll see how it ends up going. I would just think he just keeps getting better. It's going to be better for him.
Yesterday, a couple guys remarked about practice kind of being one of the toughest yet, and you could see some guys sucking weight on the sideline. Was it just a function of kind of the later hour and the extra heat, or was it a conscious effort for you guys to kind of push the pace as you're getting ready for
Yeah,
the
we did that on purpose, so they know training camp wasn't so easy. No, we wanted the pace we're playing at on offense, and what it looks like we're going to be able to do as far as how many plays per game. We need to keep challenging our guys to make sure they understand, like, it's a 10-play drive is going to be hard, and we're going to get tired, and it's a 4-quarter game, and we've gone, 4 total series, so we don't even know what it feels like to really go into a fourth quarter, and it's a battle, and it's been 65 plays already. So our guys just need to understand, like, to be able to do that, we have to work extremely hard in practice. We have to play at a really probably almost unrealistic rate to get in the kind of shape we need to get in.
It's a tricky balance for you to strike because, you know, the past 3 weeks or so you've been doing earlier practices, and you want to burn these guys out before the season comes around, but you also want to make sure that they're in regular season shape by week 1. Is it tough to strike that balance?
Yeah, I think we're far from being burned out. I think guys are in a good place right now. I do think when you change kind of the time, that's why we're doing it in week 3, right? Like, this is your dress rehearsal. This is what you're trying to set up for the season. So, hey, this is how it's going to be. And guys adapt quickly. I mean, that's what these guys do. Same thing. They go to a new team. They learn a playbook. They learn a new system. They learn new schedules. They just adapt.
Okay, last one from George.
But back to Le'Veon, is the one-dimensional running back, just run the ball, is that a thing of the past? And what's the challenge for you as a play caller to take advantage of all the versatility that Le'Veon has?
Well, I can't speak for every offense. I think every offense is different in that capacity. When a guy is predominantly a run guy and he's not involved in the passing game, there's value there. There's teams that see high value in that. I think with what we do, it's built around our players. I think the fact that we have Le'Veon, and then now you add Ty in the mix, you add Bilal, like, you have 3 guys right there that can do all 3 phases of the game, which makes play calling a lot easier because you don't have to change. Whoever's in there, you can call the same things. You're not adjusting your play calling because all 3 of them can have now, the degrees of how good they are at certain things are probably different, but at the same time, it makes play calling a lot easier.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, guys.
Alrighty.